Hello, and welcome back to episode 19 of the Julii Very Hard campaign. Last time, we began pushing into Gaul, finally, for the first time, after playing the entire campaign very defensively on our northern front. We held this bridge next to Mediolanium for, must have been at least 30-40 turns. Then we moved up to this bridge, then we moved up to this bridge, and finally we are across this river and into Gaul and beginning to actually push into their territory. So we finally have Gaul on the back foot, and I believe they're only left with about 4 cities. We have Alesia here, Lugdunum, Condetredonum, and let's see, these cities are all neutral, which means that they are Germanic and Britannian. And then, of course, they most likely still have Numantia here, but we don't know exactly what's going on in Spain. Regardless, most likely they have about 4 cities left, which is very exciting. Currently, we have Marius Victor preparing to push in through the mountains in the north of Spain to pick up Osca and Numantia. Next turn, he's going to be besieging this fort and continue down towards Osca. So hopefully we can make some good progress today towards that conquest. We also have an army in Tingi under the command of Quintus Victor, who's most likely going to be heading out in the next couple of turns to invade Spain from the south. Also in northern Africa, we have Luca Astorius marching towards Nept, and then he's most likely going to circle back and take Dimity with the help of the troops inside of Cirta. For both Cirta and Tingi, we're just waiting on the public order to normalize a little bit before we take all the troops out and start using them for taking out the Numidians. But hopefully we can take at least one of these 2 cities this part. We are going to have some difficulties because we don't have any troops to hold the ram at Nept, but we'll see. Hopefully we can find a way to take Dimity and Nept before too long and get the Numidians out of the game. In Anatolia, we're building an army for Marcus Victor from the troops that we had left over from Greece, and that's going to be one of our last large pre-Marian armies that we're going to be using for combat. We're going to send them out towards Ancyra and try and pick up as much of Anatolia as possible before the Marian Reforms. The big news last week was that we received notification that we are finally ready to start the civil war with our allies. But while the game may think we're ready, in reality, we are not at all ready. We don't have any troops in Italy. We were really waiting for the Marian Reforms to be able to build up armies and actually be prepared to fight our allies. And the main issue we have right now is really just financial. Currently, we have 285 denarii. And we are making a lot of income every turn. Our total projected income for next turn is over 69,000 denarii. But we spend so much money every turn. Army upkeep is almost 30,000. And we've been trying to trim that down by disbanding miscellaneous mercenaries and replacing garrisons with just peasants. But it's still very high, 29,913. We spent 20,600 on construction last turn. Obviously, we could take a pause while we get ready for this war. But it is just really expensive to continue growing all of the cities in our empire, and we do want to continue growing because we don't want to fall behind our allies who we're about to be at war with technologically. Most likely we are ahead of them, but still, one of our biggest advantages is that we have been developing economically, technologically. So while I could, for example, reclaim 5,000 denarii by just not building this army barracks in Corinth, then we won't have an army barracks in Corinth, and we're going to need to fight the Brutii soon. I do think maybe we should take one turn to just slow it down a little bit, cancel a couple of these queued buildings, and just save a little bit of money, have a little bit of money in our coffers in case we need to build any last-minute mercenaries or anything like that. Because realistically, if we don't have any money, you can't just make money appear out of nowhere. It takes a couple turns to get enough money to, for example, build up an army really quickly, respond to an attack. So I want to have a little bit of money in our coffers in case we get attacked by our allies, which it kind of looks like might happen soon. I mean, if you look at Salona, we're surrounded by armies of the Brutii. Same with Segestico. We've got an army over here. We have another army of the Brutii over by Ariminum and Arretium. So it is very possible that they could attack us, and we would be totally unprepared to respond to that. So yeah, I think it's worth unqueuing a couple of these upgrades that we have just to save a little bit of money. I mean, the Legion Barracks in Segesta, is that needed? I think we should do at least a Legion Barracks because after the Marian Reforms, we want to be able to build 5 units of legionaries each turn in Italy. So I think having a Legion Barracks in Segesta is worth having. But like, does Juvavum need communal farming right now? It's worth an additional 60 per turn. I think I would rather have the 1200 denarii for that. So let's unqueue that in Aquincum and Juvavum, just get a little bit of money. And let's just keep an eye on our tax rates around the empire. Nicomedia is currently at 120% public order, so we can bump that up to normal tax rate, just boost our income very slightly. At Sardis, we're at 115% public order. Same deal there, we'll bump that up to normal, worth a little bit more income. Just anything to squeeze out a little bit more money before we have to fight the Civil War. Narbo Martius, as much as we are trying to grow the population here, it already has a population growth rate of 6%, and with 917 population, the fastest way to get population here is going to be just bringing peasants and disbanding them. So we can up the tax rate there. In Lugdunum, we can up the tax rate to very high, just for a couple of turns. The population growth rate here is 6% on a 400 population. That's only 24 population per turn. So losing a little bit of population growth rate from having a higher tax rate isn't going to hurt us too much. In Thapsus, we can bump up the tax rate a little bit to normal, but we might have to bring it back down next turn. We'll just have to see. Okay, other than that, I think we're ready to end the turn. And every turn, I'm just going to hope that we don't get attacked by our allies. We really do not want the Civil War to start right now. Okay, we have a suitable husband for Paulina. He's 25. His name is Tertius Ursus. He's a bureaucrat for +1 management, +1 law. Confident commander for +1 command. Honestly, he's pretty good, and I do need more generals right now. So let's go ahead and accept him. Okay, he was spawned in Pergamum. That's pretty good. That's a good spot for him. Okay, we also have a new Senate mission. We were successful in our last Senate mission, which was just to leave the province of Campus Scythii. And now we have a new Senate mission, Blockade Osca. Will be rewarded with 1 unit you can recruit. That's easy. We have a Quincurium right here at Carthago Nova. We'll get them over there next turn. And what did we get for this last Senate mission? Okay, we didn't get anything. These are those kind of horrible Senate missions where they don't offer you anything and they just threaten you. So hopefully we did not incur any new wrath of the Senate, but yeah, there's nothing we can really do to make the Senate like us at this point. They feel threatened by us. They're not going to forgive us for that. Let's go through the rest of our announcements. Congratulations to Tertius Ursus and Paulina. And honestly, Pergamum might have been the best place we could have gotten a spawn for a general. We can bring Decius Julius into Sardis. Now we have 3 generals in this part of the world. Marcus Victor, Decius Julius, and Tertius Ursus. And I'm not sure Pergamum is the best place for Tertius Ursus. He might want to go over to Greece at some point. But for now, he can stay at Pergamum. If we do need to fight in Greece against the Brutii once we're at war with them, we'll just bring him over on a ship. Looks like the Egyptians have brought up another army to try to take Sardis back, but now that we have a really good garrison inside the city, I don't think we're realistically gonna have to fight this army. I guess they could try to attack us, but I think this is the army that has like no missile troops. So I might want to actually sally out and fight them at some point. But we'll deal with that in a little while. This was that army that fled all the way across the border to Tarsus. So if I could get them out in the field and kill this army, that would be nice. There's another Egyptian army up here, Ptolemy Neos Philopater, which is a little better. It has a family member and at least 1 unit of chariots. So this probably is not an army that I'm going to be too excited to face. But at least if I can get rid of Captain Mutnojmet, that would be a good start in weakening the strength of the Egyptians in this part of the world. Let's take a look at our diplomatic information. The Scipii are back at war with Egypt and the Brutii back at war with Pontus because we are at war with them. And the Scipii are trying to get ceasefires with Gaul and Pontus. Still just continuing that trend of trying to make peace with all of my enemies. Let's take a look at our construction report. We finished a market in Segestica, and it begs the question, is it even worth building, for example, a wooden wall at Segestica? Because if we get attacked by the Brutii, we're losing Segestica. I mean, we don't have an army in the area. We have a basic wooden palisade or a basic wooden wall. I don't think it will help to build anything in Segestica this turn. So we'll hold off on building anything else. We'll wait for Segestica to get to the next level of city. Once it's a minor city, then we'll build a wall and a stone wall, and that will increase the ability to defend Segestica. But we don't want to necessarily be building walls everywhere, because there will come a time where some of these cities that are near the interior of our empire are getting massive, and we don't really need to garrison them to defend against attackers from other countries, because this will be so far away from the front line. And having walls will just mean that if we ever do need to exterminate the city to cull down the population, it'll just be harder to fight through huge walls. So Theoretically, some of these cities on the interior, like Segesta, Segestica, Salona, Ariminum, if we can avoid putting up huge walls there, it might be advantageous later in the campaign. We'll see if it becomes necessary though. And this is a big difference between Rome and other campaigns that have, for example, hordes. Like if you're playing Medieval 2, there's the looming threat of the Mongols on the horizon for the entire game. You know they're coming, you know you're going to need to defend your homeland against an invading horde. So you have to be building all of your cities for defense, even in the core of your empire. But since there's not really a late game threat, you kind of just emanate your empire out from the center and just take the whole world. Nothing is going to come attack us at Segestica realistically in 30 turns. Once we finish the Civil War, these cities will not need walls. Anyway, all that to say, I'm not going to build anything in Segestica. Mediolanium, we finished our highways. We do need a legion barracks here for the same reason we're building one at Segesta, so we can build legions in all of these cities when we need to fight our Civil War. Currently, public order at Mediolanium is at 70%, so we're going to bring down the tax rate to normal. At Tylus, we finished a crop rotation, and we're building a shrine to Ceres. We just knocked down the shrine to Athena, I think, that we had previously from when this was a Thracian city. So we're switching over to Roman religion this turn, which means we don't have to shell out a ton of denarii. Hopefully we can hold on to some of this 28,000 denarii and build a little bit of a stash going into possibly a civil war. By the way, what is this? What is this marking on the ground? Why is it black? I've never noticed that before. Medium fertility. Well, that's this whole area's medium fertility. It doesn't say what this is. Have I just not looked closely enough before to see these black marks on the map? Is that supposed to be like coal or something? I guess there are little marks in other places, but that seems kind of excessive. I wonder if that'll be there in the summer as well. Okay, let's go through our faction announcements. 2 new family members, Caesonia and Fulvia. Amulius the Mean is getting lots of stuff. He got Erisastrus, which is a retinue, for -1 morale, +1 to public health, improves the chances of casualties recovering from their wounds. He got a philosopher for +1 management, and a goldsmith for 10% bonus on all trade income, 10% decrease to cost to bribe. So these are all really good manager traits, and he is primarily a manager, so that's okay. He's actually quite a good manager. He has miserly for +4 management. In total, he has 9 scrolls of management, so he's probably pretty beneficial for Segesta. I think we're getting 535 income from his management skill. I think that's the admin line item for income, so that's pretty helpful. Good job, Amulius. Definitely not someone we want to use as a commander in the field, but a very good manager for Segesta. Let's take a look at our end of turn report. Obviously very profitable because we canceled a lot of buildings we were building. We profited 8,436 denarii that turn. Pretty good turn financially for us. All right, we have some populations moving around Massilia and Narbo Martius. Let's take these 2, let's see. These 2 units we'll send down to Narbo Martius. So we'll drop 480 population over there. This 1 unit we will drop off at Massilia, and same with this one, and then these 2 units can go up to Lugdunum. So with that will bring us over 2,000 population at Massilia, will bring us to about 800, 900 at Lugdunum. Narbo Martius, that will bring us to about 1,400. Maybe we should forget about Lugdunum for now, and just send these 2 units also to Narbo Martius. So we'll have a total of 4 units going to Narbo Martius. That will bring us to about 2,000 population there, over 2,000 population at Massilia, and then we'll just do Lugdunum a little bit later. That's good. These 2 cities will then be able to move up to large towns so they can build ports and get connected into our trade network, which is very good. Now, I would love to take Lentulus Quinctilius out into the field to continue fighting against Gauls, but I don't want to leave Lugdunum completely empty, of course. Can we buy a mercenary? Yes, we can buy barbarian mercenaries. Can we send them into Lugdunum, and is that enough to hold on to the city? Yes, it is. So as long as we are nearby enough that we can defend Lugdunum if we need to, I don't think there's anything wrong with just leaving a unit of barbarian mercenaries as the garrison here. Even if Gaul came and took Lugdunum back, that wouldn't really be a big deal. There's already the minimum amount of population we can have here, which is 400. So even if they came and exterminated Lugdunum, it wouldn't really matter. So I think that's fine. I would rather just roll the dice on taking Lentulus Quinctilius further into Gaul, see if he can maybe pick up Leminum, or I guess Alessia. I mean, Alessia is a great city, but I don't know if we would be able to take it. They're more likely to have a bigger army around Alessia because it is their capital. Let's send Sextus Ancio over to Alessia, see if he can spy around a little bit, see what's around here. Okay, actually, Alesia is not very well defended right now. But I just feel like if we go and take it, we're probably going to end up losing it. Let's be smart about this, and we'll pick up Lemanum first. That way, we are cutting off trade between Gaul and itself. They're, I think, trading probably over this road down to Numantia. So we can cut off trade there. We can take a city that is further away from Britannia and Germania, which means less risk of us getting attacked by those factions, and it also should be less well defended than the area around Alesia. Even if we don't see them now, eventually we will probably find a bigger army somewhere in this area. Although we might have really depleted all of the money and strength of the Gauls at this point. We've killed so many of their armies on these bridge battles. I wouldn't be surprised if they're completely out of population. So let's see if we can real quick kill Captain Drustan with Lentulus Quintilius. What do we have here? Some Forester Warband, decent unit. Druids, decent unit. But I think both of them will be pretty weak to my War Dogs. So I just need to get my War Dogs deployed quickly so they don't get picked apart by the enemy Forester Warband. But we shouldn't take too many casualties if we can get this battle started quickly. It would be ideal if we could fight from the high ground so we can avoid getting shot by those long-range archers as much as possible. But let's go ahead and start the battle, and I'm just gonna go ahead and release 3 of the units on the Druids and 3 of the units on the Forester Warband, and then we'll just walk up my general with them. The reason I'm releasing them now, they're not actually going to release here, but I want them to release as soon as possible because I want to start skirmishing the enemy Forester Warband. So let me go ahead and pause this. General, get up here. They release the dogs. Now we want to withdraw all of the handlers. Go ahead and withdraw. I don't want anyone to break. General, get up here, rally troops, and just let the dogs do their thing. These druids probably aren't going to break, but they are probably going to be cut through pretty quickly because there aren't very many of them. And then Forester Warband is tough, but shouldn't be able to keep up with this many units of war dogs. Okay, the smaller unit is really not wanting to withdraw. Come on, guys, withdraw. Just get back. The rest of you guys can stop withdrawing. You've made it far enough away that you shouldn't try and get involved in the fighting again. Let me just speed this up, let them do their thing. All of these dogs can die and I won't take any casualties. So I'm just gonna let them see if they can kill all of this army. Perfect. That's that. 0 casualties. Took out that army. Some good experience for our general. And we can continue marching towards Lemanum. Ooh, should we fight through this army? Maybe. Can we cross there? Yes. Okay, we'll try that. Yeah, we'll cut through this little pass and hopefully kill that little army and then continue towards Lemanum. Marius Victor is ready to go ahead and besiege this fort, and it looks risky. They have a unit of Forester Warband, they have 2 generals, they do outnumber us as far as the number of troops in their army, but we have a much better general with Marius Victor. He's excellent. And we have archers, we have better quality troops, and we'll be besieging them, so they'll have to fight out through tiny little gates in the wall. So I think we can probably win this battle. I'm gonna try it. I don't even know if I want to build rams. I want to just starve them out and force them to fight out of the walls. Although if Captain Vuelcatus does come and attack us, it might be a little harder because they'll be able to make it out of the fort. But even then, I think I would probably be able to take it. I might retreat in that case because I don't want to fight both of these armies without the advantage of them fighting out of a fort. But we'll see. We're just going to try starving them out. You never know how they're going to react. Might be a really good way to take out some strength in this part of the world. And it will be a while until some actual reinforcements arrive, so we're gonna have to make do with the army that we have. I mean, I guess I could send Lentulus Quintilius and his war dogs down, but I think it's good to split up the army and try and just take land off the Gauls, weaken them as much as I can while they're on the back foot. Okay, now Cornelius Julius has been making his way around to Bailazora to just be there in case we do end up having a civil war soon. So we'll send him down to Bailazora. We'll also send Captain Gaius down to Bailazora. And we're just preparing in case we do end up needing to fight the Brutii. I hope we don't have to anytime soon. I want to get through the Marian Reforms first. But if we have to, I want to be prepared for that. There is a part of me that wants to just disband all of these troops and just collect the money from not having to pay for their upkeep for a couple of turns and then rebuild them when it's post-Marian. But I don't know. I don't want to risk it. Marian Reforms are only 2 turns away at this point. But you never know. I don't want to take any risks and lose Bailazor, which is a pretty useful city. 11,000 population, very strategically important, near the Dacians, also near the north of the Brutii. And they have left Greece kind of undefended. Like, they do have all these huge armies over here, but they're looking like they're maybe going to locate themselves near my cities and leave their own abandoned. So we may have to just kind of counterattack and hit their cities if they try to attack us at our cities. Okay, there's a fleet over here somewhere. We can chase them. I just want to kick the Egyptians out of our water as much as possible. Get back. We don't want them bringing any armies to come attack us in Anatolia. And Halicarnassus, we can bring up the tax rate a little bit. Beautiful. Okay, now we have some troops that we need to move around to create an army for Marcus Victor. So we have these troops, which will fit into Marcus Victor's army. And then, do I even want these hoplites? Yeah, I'll take them. And I will just merge them together. Build a little 50 stack of hoplites just to use against chariots, because even 50 hoplites can be really useful to cover a flank against chariots, since they all just die on impact with any prepared hoplites. So those could be useful for fighting the Egyptians eventually. And let's send Marcus Victor in the direction of Ancyra. We might have to fight Ptolemy Neos Philopator first, but hopefully he kind of leaves us alone. I don't know, if he could just go back to his territory, I would prefer that for now. We'll see. Now we have 2 more units of peasants that we're bringing up to Nicomedia for population. So let's bring them across the border, go ahead and disband them, and we're gonna bring down the tax rate at Nicomedia. That bumps the population by 480, so that takes us to 1,238. And the population growth rate there is 7.5%. So very good. It is inflated by the slavery resource that we have right now, but we'll have that for a while. Another 17 turns. So Nicomedia is pretty well taken care of now. It's going to grow pretty quickly, which is good. Marcus Victor will hopefully be at Ancyra next turn, potentially. And I think we should probably attack Captain Modojmet now. So let's go ahead and put together an army. I think we should just take everyone except for maybe just this tiny unit of Principes. Just leave 1 unit behind in Sardis. And we'll go ahead and attack Captain Modojmet. Oh, my general can't reach. Oh, that's not good. Oh, that's so lame because my general can't reach Captain Modojmet, and I can't move the whole army because we are on a conflict square with an enemy army. So I could start the battle with this unit of Principes, but we're gonna lose all of the positive morale benefits of Decius Julius. Regardless, I think we can win this. Okay. This is a little bit risky, but specifically because we have a good amount of archers, and this army has no ranged troops whatsoever. We should still be able to do really well in this battle. So I don't recommend this usually as a strategy, but we are going to attack with this 1 unit and just command Decius Julius as a secondary army, because we should still be able to take very few casualties in this battle. Forgive me if this doesn't work, but I think we can handle it. Will they retreat though? They do retreat, which is actually ideal because that means we can make it back into the city. There we go. That's what I was worried about, is what do I do about Sardis's public order if I leave my whole army outside of the city? Okay, so we will just attack Captain Modojmet next turn with Decius Julius and the whole army. That neutralizes that problem. I guess they could go down to Halicarnassus and try to besiege us, but I'm okay with that. Now we can see their army fully. It's just a bunch of Nubian spearmen, some desert cavalry, a unit of skirmishers, some Nile spearmen. Pretty flimsy. They've got 1 half-strength unit of desert cavalry. So shouldn't be too difficult whatsoever. We'll just hunt them down next turn. And now that we've finished our Senate mission to remove our troops from Campus Scythii, we are safe to go ahead and sit on this bridge again. But I'm gonna not do it just yet because I don't want to keep making the Senate angry. We're just gonna keep Captain Nero here. He'll keep an eye on Campus Scythii. If they start bringing more armies around, and I think they might be getting ready to attack us, we will go back on this bridge, but for now, no need to do that. In Campus Scythii, let's go ahead and disband a couple units of Peltas and Illyrians. They're not necessary. They each cost 166 upkeep per turn. we'll go ahead and disband them. I want to just have peasants as garrisons in these cities, and I could use actual troops for fighting. But other than that, I don't need to have a bunch of random mercenaries. Thracians, they only cost 86. They are somewhat useful. We have a unit of Thracians that we can merge it with if there's some damage that happens. But realistically, we're probably not even going to get to fight with these Thracians. So let's go ahead and disband these Thracians. Let me think if there are any chariots that we might have to face on this flank. No, none of these factions have chariots. So we don't need these hoplites either. There are only 38 of them, so they're not that useful. Campus Getae, not super happy with us as far as public order right now. 70% public order, but it's going to go up significantly once we build that next unit of peasants. For now, we will bring back some mercenaries to hold on to Campus Getae. We can unqueue a couple units of those peasants. There we go. 80% public order, totally fine. Captain Nero is not about to be attacked by anyone, so it's fine to do that. And we'll save a couple hundred denarii per turn in upkeep because we disbanded those mercenaries. Since we're kind of abandoning this bridge, let's send back Gaius Liberius down near Poralism just to keep an eye on the Dacians. I don't need to fight them imminently, I just want to know that they aren't about to attack us. Now, let's check on Tingi. How is their public order doing? 5%, with full peasants queued, 25%. How much of a garrison would we need to leave behind? Let's do 2 units of Astati, 3 units of Astati. 4? 70% public order. Not horrible. Is it even worth going to Spain with this few units? I'm going to say we'll try it. May as well be using Quintus Victor for something, right? We can't just have him hang out here forever. We're building more peasants. We can bring over these Astati sooner or later. But I think we can fight through at least Cordoba with its 3 units. And supposedly a stockade for now. We'll see if that's actually true when we get there. But I don't think we need more troops than that from Quintus Victor to start this conflict. So let's bring him over to Spain. I can't bring all of the troops off the fleet, but I can bring at least the cavalry. And we will just leave them here. Do we want any of these mercenaries? Depends on the population if we're going to need to disband any population in Cordoba. Let's go ahead and buy these Spanish and barbarian mercenaries to defend Quintus Victor and his cavalry in case we get attacked by some Spanish. And also, we might want to leave them behind as a garrison so we can keep all of our Roman troops for attacking other Spanish settlements. Now, next turn, we'll drop off all of these Astati with Quintus Victor and we can go ahead and attack Cordoba. Tingi will be okay with their public order. Cirta, how are they? Still pretty bad. We're going to have to just wait the 2 turns for the arena to be built, and then we should have enough peasants and enough positive public order from the arena that we can take the troops from Cirta and send them over to Dimity. Luca Astorius is ready to besiege Nept. There's 1 unit in Nept. Should be the easiest fight ever, but we don't have anything to hold a ram. So we're going to have to just go ahead and besiege them. Luckily, this is such a small town that they will get starved out in 4 turns. 4 turns is still a long time, but maybe next turn a mercenary becomes available and it is a foot soldier and we can use that to hold the ram. Maybe we have to starve them out. Maybe they sally out or something. I don't know, but hopefully we can get Nept in less than 4 turns. If it has to be 4 turns, it's not the end of the world. We can always just wait 4 turns, take Nept, and then swing up to Dimity. It's going to take at least 4 turns to get to Dimity, maybe 6 turns. So that's okay. We'll just deal with the Numidians at whatever pace we can. We're pushing in from the north with Marius Victor, from the south with Quintus Victor into Spain. So Spain should fall in 10 to 15 turns. Shouldn't be too bad. And let's go ahead and up the tax rate at Bailazora. Well, I would like to. It would be worth about another couple hundred, but we're so close to Bailazora growing, maybe it's not optimal. Maybe we should disband some of these mercenaries to get the population up a little bit, get Bailazora over the threshold to a large city, and then we can worry about raising the tax rate if we want to. Yeah, I think so. Let's disband these Illyrians. They're not really going to be relevant soon once we go through the Marian Reforms. We'll hold on to these other 2 units of mercenaries. Population of 11,623. We should be growing our population by about 300 per turn, 3% population growth rate with 11,600 population. So we should be over 12,000 population next turn. Just as these public baths are finishing being built, we'll be able to build our proconsul's palace, get up to a large city. And then we can worry about getting a legion barracks, getting ready to eventually fight against the Brutii. Okay, this was a pretty quick turn, but I think that's okay. We're trying to save some money, so we can't do everything we want to do, but I feel pretty good ending this turn. Every turn I end, though, I just really hope I don't get attacked by my allies. Okay, I don't think we were attacked by our allies. Civil war has been avoided. Okay, Cirta is under siege. That's okay. That's okay. I was a little bit scared that the civil war had started. Now, what are you really doing here? Captain Gauda, you have 5 units and one of them is desert infantry. What do you think you're doing? You're not going to win that battle. Okay, we'll have to sally out and kill Captain Gauda this turn. That's all right. We'll merge together these principes. We'll have to sally out. It's not ideal. We don't have the best army, but I don't want them to stop me from building an arena because that's going to slow us down and make it harder for us to go take Dimity. So we will need to sally out and kill this army this turn. Let's go through the rest of our announcements. Yep, our allies are still at war with our enemies. Ooh, we finished some war dogs in Juvavum and Aquincum. I think we'll build one more unit of war dogs in each of these cities, just because eventually we will have to fight on the defensive against Dacia, and we don't want to have to send troops from Italy if we're in the middle of a civil war. So we'll get a couple more units of war dogs, maybe 2 more in Aquincum, 1 more in Juvavum. They cost 50 upkeep per turn, so very little. Long term, they're very easy investments for the defense of these cities. Let's take a look at our construction report. It's extensive, which means this could be a little bit of an expensive turn, but we do have 42,000 denarii right now because we've been saving up. So we should be okay. Let's take a look. Carthage, we built a forum. Very hard decision what we build next in Carthage. The reason we built the forum was so that we could build an aqueduct to support bringing down the squalor. So I think we should do that. It's kind of expensive and it doesn't make us any money, but I want to hold on to Carthage. Yeah, it is worth it for us to not have to be paying for monthly games. That costs us 400 more per turn than yearly games. So if we can get that squalor down a little bit, that will help. But squalor is always going to be a problem at Carthage, unfortunately. Eventually, we will have to cull the population, most likely, if we don't get a plague or something. Let's take a look at Athens. We finished our crop rotation. I think we probably should build an arena if we already have low public order here. However, we can wait a little bit. Instead, let's build a unit of peasants, see if we can handle the public order with just peasants. And when we get a little closer to 12,000 population, then we can invest in an arena, but we shouldn't need it for now in Athens. At Halicarnassus, we finished our land clearance. We're trying to grow this city. Shipwright makes sense to increase the number of trade fleets. That is worth 300 per turn. It would pay for itself in 5 turns. Legion barracks also makes sense, so does communal farming. I think, trader. Does that have a big impact on trade? Not a huge impact. For now, we're going to go with shipwright. We want to get as many trade fleets going in this area as possible, especially since we're trading between Halicarnassus and Athens. Athens is very profitable for trade. 3,811 trade per turn. Okay, at Pergamum, we finish our legion barracks, which is very good. Once we get past the Marian Reforms, we'll be able to pump out some legions from Pergamum. What are these mines worth? They're worth 150, not a very good return on that investment. We need our public order to be a little better here. So we could build public baths that would support the growing population here as well. Yeah, public baths aren't too expensive. We can afford that in Pergamum. At Bilazor, we finished public baths, and perfect. Just in time, just like I said, Bilazor has grown to a large city. So we'll build a proconsul's palace in Bilazora. At Tylus, we finished our Shrine to Ceres, got to go straight to level 2, and we can up the tax rate now that our public order is a little bit better with Roman religion. At Tingi, we finished our archery range. We should really build some archers here at some point, but there's no point in having archers if you don't have a stone wall, and we may not ever need to build a stone wall if we eliminate our only enemies in this part of the world. So once the Numidians and the Spanish are out of the game, we may not even need those stone walls. Let's hold off on building that in Tingi. Instead, let's invest in population growth rate. We'll do it with a crop rotation if this increases our income significantly. Not enough for it to be worth the extra investment over just sewers. They take 2 turns, they only cost 800 denarii. So sewers are pretty obvious in Tingi. Unless shipwright is worth a lot. It probably isn't. No, it's not worth a lot, and the reason is because I don't think it would be able to establish enough trade routes for a shipwright. We have 1 trade fleet with a port and 2 with a shipwright. We can trade with Palma. I guess maybe we could trade with Cirta, but for now, there's not a lot of trade going on in this part of the world. Once we take Cordoba and Cordoba, that might change. But we'll for now just build these sewers, and then eventually we'll upgrade to a shipwright when it's worth a little bit more money. And speaking of Spain, let's go ahead and drop off these reinforcements for Quintus Victor. He now has a pretty decent army. We can go ahead and besiege Cordoba. Build a couple of rams here, and still only 3 units here. We've got Bitor, who's a family member. He's totally unremarkable, not a very good general. Don't know what the other 2 units are, but looks like they've already built mines and a shipwright for us. Very good. Ooh, and they have a sacred circle of Isis, so they could be building bull warriors here. Could have some bull warriors we're gonna have to fight through, but shouldn't be too difficult. Let's go back to not blockading this port, because we're already doing that by besieging Cordoba. I believe that blockades the port as well. And let's go ahead and instead blockade this port over here at Cordoba. We have a Senate mission to blockade Osca, so we'll go ahead and do that. And oof, there's a pretty decent sized army here of the Spanish. Looks like it might be marching towards Narba Marius. Matugenus. The quality doesn't look great from the 2 units we can see, Iberians and skirmishers. If that is actually the strength of this army, this should be a pretty easy army to fight with Marius Victor. But if there are some bull warriors hidden in there, they outnumber us so much that we might struggle in that battle. Looks like also the Gallic reinforcements, Captain Velocatus, is slowly working its way around to try and attack Marius Victor here. But we are starving them out, so this army is getting weaker. They only have 2 more turns before this fort starves out and they'll have to sally out. We're gonna buy whatever mercenaries we can here. Barbarian cavalry mercenaries are not a horrible unit. And should we send some reinforcements from Narba Marius? I think we should if we can. Can we spare this general? Yeah, let's bring him over just for the extra heavy cavalry. He's not very good. He's only got 48 heavy cavalry, but still, that's worth something. It will help if we have to fight Captain Velocatus. Narba Marius should be okay without a general for now. But we'll see once we bring this population over. We might need to do something with Narba Marius, like queue a unit of peasants or something, but we'll see. Let's keep bringing Lentulus Quintilius towards Lemanum. I mean, a part of me wants to send him south to fight the Spanish and just finish off the Spanish really quickly, but we already have 2 armies marching through Spain, and if this is the level of resistance that we're going to be facing, basically empty cities, then we may not need a bunch of reinforcements. So for now, let's have him continue marching towards Lemanum. We found that little army over here, Captain Senianus. He's gonna flee, he doesn't want to fight, it's just 1 unit of warband. We'll get him next turn and then we'll continue marching towards Lemanum. We're slightly overextending here with Lugdunum. We may lose the city, but it's not the end of the world, not a very important city. Okay, let's bring over some population to Narba Marius. And we'll bring down the tax rate. There we go. That brings public order under control. We'll bring another unit over. Public order is still okay, 85%. We've upped the population to 1491, so that's pretty good. Let's bring over some more population for Massilia. They're up to 1996. Very unlikely to be just barely under that threshold. But we'll go ahead and bring over these 3 units of peasants for Narba Marius. We'll just let Massilia grow naturally. It will be a large town next turn with a 6% population growth rate. Let's go ahead through our faction announcements. New child has been born, Servius Julius. New coming of age, we have a general, Valerius the Handsome. Very good sign. Same turn he comes of age. At 16 years old, he's getting married. Always a good sign. Let's check him out. Oh, this is him. This is the guy that I just brought over from Narba Marius. So he's going straight into fighting the Gauls. Let's take a look at him. Godlike perfection. Adonis would gaze upon this man with jealousy. Many ordinary mortals already do. Okay, +3 influence. Not bad. Fruitful. Okay, he's 16, he's fruitful, and he's already married. So he's gonna be pumping out kids immediately. He's gonna have his first kids, like, when he's 17. No taste for blood, +1 to unrest, 5% bonus to your popularity with the Senate, 5% penalty to your popularity with the people. This man apparently has little interest in proper Roman traditions, like the games. Okay, very forward thinking of him. I'm not gonna knock him for that. We'll get him used to blood fighting in Spain. He'll be fine, he'll grow up a little bit. He's very young. Gaius Liberius got a linguist for +2 to influence, improves negotiation skills. This is our diplomat in Dacia. While that with a linguist, he has 1 wreath of influence because he has discourteous. Foreign manners and customs are not to this man's taste, and he lets foreigners know this in no uncertain terms, -2 from influence. Okay, buddy. They still don't want to even consider an alliance. I still don't know why, but okay. You have served your purpose well enough. Just keep an eye on this bridge to see if Dacia is ever going to come try to attack us at Bilazora. New most advanced faction is Egypt. We've passed it back to them, unfortunately. So whatever they're doing over here, they're building nuclear weapons or something. Of course, Bilazora has expanded. We already knew about that. Let's take a look at our end of turn report. Profited 12,685, but we did then spend a lot of that money reinvesting in some new buildings. So still very happy with our level of wealth right now. We've got 30,609 denarii. So pretty good. That's about the amount that I want to maintain. And actually, let's go ahead and build some siege equipment for this fort. Even though I think I want to starve them out, I still should have the option if I need to force a battle for some reason to have that siege equipment. So we're going to do that. We built siege equipment at Cordoba. Nept is still under siege, and the reinforcing army of the Numidians never came to save Nept. We still don't have any mercenaries we can build to hold the ram. That's okay. And do you guys know what's about to happen? Next turn, Imperial Palace, complete in Batavium, first huge city in Italy. The Marian Reforms should happen when I click this button. Oh, I forgot to move that general. So he's going to very dramatically besiege Ancyra. And when he gets back across the border into Nicomedia, he's going to be shocked to find out what's been happening. Okay, I forgot to move a couple things. This is just building the suspense further. Enjoy this. Enjoy all of this. This is very fun. Oh my god. Okay, we're gonna have to fight a few battles to get to the Marian Reforms. That's okay. Captain Thothorses. Oh, this is actually a pretty decent army. Bronze shields, phalanx pikemen, archers. Okay, decent army. And Parasites inside the city versus Marcus Victor. Could we win that? I kind of don't want to risk it. We're going to withdraw. It's not going to be great for his traits, but I would rather fight one of those at a time. Okay. The Marian Reforms did happen, guys. Oh, okay. Anyways, what a thing to start this turn. Settlement bribed. Lugdunum, how dare you? Can we send someone to go pick that up right now? Oh, we don't have any cavalry that can grab it. Can Lentulus Quintilius make it back? Could he buy a mercenary that could go back and take it? I want to take Lugdunum back. Barbarian mercenaries, go take Lugdunum. Thank you. Re-enslave it, just to show them we don't do bribing here. They wasted money bribing our city and we got it back, so that's fine. Lentulus, go back to your army. We'll deal with Senianus next turn. We've got important things to deal with. Okay, I'm gonna build the suspense even more. I'm so sorry. Senate mission successful. We got a unit of war dogs. Very good. Turncoat army? What is happening this turn? Where are these guys getting this money? Okay, Captain Valerius has betrayed us. Oh, just one of our units of peasants. Okay. Not a great sign for the Marian Reforms that this is what's happening in this turn. Okay, bring over this population to Narba Martius. This is what you all have been waiting for. A new man, Gaius Marius. Gaius Marius has proposed a series of laws that allow the proletariat to join his reorganized Roman army. In return for many years of military service, every soldier will be given land as a kind of pension. This reform is passed in the People's Assembly without the approval of the Senate. It's a certainty that such popular and populist appeal will do Marius no favors in the long run. The troop types available for recruitment now reflect the structure of this new professional army. Check the recruitment scroll to view the details. And we have a new Senate mission to blockade Salamis. Okay, I might ignore that. Well, I might not. That's pretty easy to do. But symbolically, I can ignore that because now I don't have to listen to you anymore, Rome. We can build Praetorian cohorts. Attack of 12, missile attack of 16, defense of 23. 12 of that comes from armor. They can form a testudo for additional armor against missiles. They have good morale. And that's like the specialty unit. That takes 2 turns to build. Realistically, we're not going to build that many of them. But now in 1 turn, we can build legionary cohorts at all of these cities in Italy and over most of our empire. Legionary cohort. melee attack of 9, missile attack of 13, total defense 22, good morale, good stamina, can form testudo. This is going to completely revolutionize our army. That, and almost more importantly, Archer Auxilia. The new archers. This is the replacement for the basic archers that we start the game with. Missile attack of 8, better armor. They have a total defense of 6 now, armor of 3, long range missiles with good stamina. So good. They are so much better than standard Roman archers. All of these units are so much better than what we used to have. In addition, I believe the bodyguard unit for our generals also totally transformed now that we're past the Marian Reforms. Attack of 11, defense of 22, armor of 11, charge bonus of 6, good morale, good stamina. Very good troops. So that is why I have not been pumping out troops in Italy, why I have not been pumping out troops in Macedonia. We are now ready to build legions all across our empire. So that's why I've been hoarding money. Changes are coming. Okay, but we will deal with that in a moment. I think the Brutii might have a bit of an idea about what they want to do next, potentially, based on this. There are 13 armies in like the 12 squares around Salona. So yeah, I think it's reasonable to say that they might be preparing to come fight us. Now, really important thing, hopefully, because our allies have spammed so many armies out in the field that aren't being used for any combat, hopefully they will not build any post-Marian troops because they have so many troops already. But are they really going to stop at the 175th unit when they have this many troops already? Probably not. They are going to build some legions, but hopefully all of these armies can just hang out around Salona. Hopefully we can delay war with them for a little bit while I prepare to take their cities off of them. We have become the most advanced faction, thanks to the Marian Reforms, the richest faction, thanks to our careful penny pinching, just in time for the Marian Reforms. Okay, real quick, let's go through the rest of these announcements. We have a lot to do this turn as far as rebuilding our new army. So, take a look at our construction report. At Arretium, we finished our army barracks just in time for the Marian Reforms. We'll see. Do we want to build anything here? Do we need to build anything here? Let's hold off for now at Arretium. We're going to go through and re-queue a bunch of buildings once we've paid for rebuilding our whole empire's army, but we'll see. For now, leave Arretium without building any new buildings. Patavium, of course, we finished our imperial palace, which means we could build an urban barracks. We could build urban cohorts, attack of 14, missile attack 18, total defense 24 with excellent morale. One of the best units in the game. Or we could build the Circus Maximus, legionary cavalry. I haven't even gone over cavalry yet. Praetorian cavalry. Attack of 11, charge bonus of 6, total defense 22. Incredible units. I think Batavium, we should probably build the Circus Maximus, but it is not cheap. 8,640 denarii. Whew. I think we have to buy it. We want to be able to build those incredibly good cavalry. Legionary cavalry is great, but Praetorian cavalry, get some good armor upgrades, get some experience on these units. They are so much better than even a general because they have the same stats as a general, but they have 108 soldiers. So if you use one of these units against an enemy general that's just a family member with like 48 cavalry, they will cut through that whole unit. Like, yes, they only have 1 hit point. Generals have 2 hit points, but they are very good. Very good. Very good for killing generals. Very good for causing breaks. Very powerful. Now, I will say, some of the other factions, they're going to get different generals as well. So let's see if we can find a general of the Gauls. They have almost none left, so we can't really find one. Here we go, this one. Can we see the character details? No, but they have new, better post-Marian warlords as well. But they're not as good as ours are. Ours are the best in the world now. Okay, let's take a look at our last building we've completed, Campus Getae. We finished an archery range. Perfect timing. We can build some long-range archers here so that we can have a very small garrison on this bridge against Campus Scythii. We can start disbanding the army that we have here. We're going to be doing that all over our empire. At Tylus, we might want to build a unit of early legionaries, maybe 2 units of early legionaries to guard this bridge. We want to use them for our bridge defense, so we'll send 2 units up from Tylus. By Lazora, we're going to need to start pumping out legions soon. but we're building a proconsul's palace first. I think that is important for now. Let's go ahead and build some archer auxilia. Very good units. Long-range archers, we'll build them one at a time in Bilazora so we can maintain our population, but we're going to build up a good garrison of archer auxilia here at Bilazora. Take a look at our faction announcements real quick. We lost a spy in the fort by Marius. That's okay. He was really old. New family member, Plotina. Okay, cool. Secundus Astorius has gotten married. Didn't get any traits from getting married, but that's okay. That's not a bad thing. He also got a priest of Jupiter. +1 influence, +1 command, +1 management. Very good. Very good retinue. Tiberius Potalius got a quartermaster for +15% to movement points. Gives the ability for armies to force march and 2% bonus to cash gained from looting. Quartermaster is a very good retinue. Probably wasted on him, honestly, because he's not out there fighting. But we'll see. We might give that to someone else who's a little bit better suited to use it. Cirta has expanded. Okay. Good timing-ish. Right when this arena's complete next turn, we need to fight off this army at Cirta. I think I was actually going to do that last turn and I forgot, genuinely, because I was so excited about the Marian Reforms. But we'll do that this turn. We'll fight off this army. This arena will be complete at the end of the turn. Then Proconsul's Palace. That will help with Squalor, will help with public order in Cirta. Okay. And Massilia has also expanded. Very good. We're going to go ahead and build that governor's villa, and then we can get a port building in Massilia very soon. Marius won't be long behind it. End of turn report. We profited another 4,622 this turn. Definitely not going to be profiting this turn. Definitely not. But at least we did last turn. Sardis is under siege by the Egyptians. We're going to have to probably fight through these two armies soon. Do we want to bring reinforcements? That would be a big battle. We'll see. We'll make that decision in a little bit. We're going to be on this turn for the end of this part, well into next part, because we have to fight probably here at Ancyra, here at Sardis. We have to fight at Cirta. We have to fight at Cordoba. We have to fight at this fort, probably at the end of this turn. So yeah, this is going to be a while on this turn, and still everything to do with the Marian Reforms. Real quick though, let's take care of housekeeping with the Marian Reforms. Right away, we need to be building troops in Italy because we're going to have to fight our allies soon. I think we start with just a basis of legionary cohorts. They're very strong, not quite as good as Praetorians. But you always feel kind of bad using Praetorians until the late game because they're so expensive and slow to build that they're not what you want to use for your entire front line. So we'll build a couple units of legionaries. We'll build them at Arretium, at Ariminum. Ooh, we don't have our army barracks complete just yet. Let's go ahead and build one unit of peasants so I can go ahead and disband these units of Hastati. Public order will be fine in Ariminum once that is built. We should build an imperial palace here too. Okay, we will do that soon. But we're gonna build some peasants. Again, public order should be fine in a moment. I'll bring over some Roman archers just in case. Don't want to risk anything, but yeah, that'll be fine. At Batavium, I think we should probably build some legionary cavalry. Mediolanium. Why do we not have archery ranges in all these cities? Why am I just realizing that? We don't have an archery range in any of these cities except Arretium. That's like a massive mistake. Well, we weren't expecting the Marian Reforms to come this quickly. We will get on that soon. Still think Circus Maximus is worth getting at Batavium. It's good to build legionary cavalry. We will need that. We want to build one solid army in Italy in case we need to start fighting our allies. Mediolanium, can we build anything of use here for now? No. We'll build some peasants so we can just disband some of these mercenaries that are expensive to upkeep. Ariminum, we can build early legionaries. They're just not as good though. No, yeah, we'll just build a unit of peasants here for the garrison in Ariminum. Man, what can we build? Not much. We're kind of underdeveloped in this part of the world. We just haven't had enough turns. We've played through this game so quickly. We've been building things every turn, but we're just not overdeveloped. We're expanding very quickly for the level of technological advancement that we've seen. How big are these cities, by the way? Is Capua just a minor city? Messana, large city, large city, city, large town, large city, large city, town, large town, large city, city. Okay. Well, Greece. This is what I'm interested in. Okay, we can build early legionaries in most of Greece. We just are still really recovering our population in cities like Athens from when we took that huge cut to the population from exterminating Athens and enslaving Corinth. Okay. Corinth, build an army barracks. We want to be able to build legionary cohorts, not early legionary cohorts. But we will build early legionary cohorts where we need to. We'll build 3 units now And then we will get working on some archer auxilia in those cities as well. We're building archer auxilia in Bilazzora. Pergamum. What do we want to build here? I think we need archer auxilia. If we're going to be fighting the Egyptians, we need some long-range archers, so we'll work on that. We're building troops in Tylus. We're building troops in Campus Getae. We just need to start disbanding these armies, honestly. Should I go ahead and just disband most of this army in Bilazzora? Do we need population anywhere? We kind of need population in Tylus. Could we take these pre-Marian troops in Bilazzora, which have a combined upkeep of about 1,000 per turn? We're going to bring them across the border into Tylus, disband them. That dumps an extra like 1,000 population into Tylus, which helps with growing the city. So that's good. Bilazzora, we're just going to rebuild with archer auxilia. We will enjoy the reduced upkeep from not having to pay for all those troops. Segestica. No, we're just going to hold on to the Illyrians for now. Okay, I think we're building all of the good troops we can in Italy, Greece, and Anatolia, right? We can build archer auxilia in Rhodes. We want to definitely do that. What's up with Halicarnassus? Okay, bring down the tax rate, that's fine. Carthage. We need to be ready to fight the Egyptians if they come knocking at Thapsus. So specifically, we need archer auxilia, long-range archers to be able to fight against their chariots. So we're going to build archer auxilia in Thapsus, and Carthage will slowly start phasing out these pre-Marian troops and disbanding them. Cirta, we will have to fight our way out of Cirta this turn. And then we can build some Roman cavalry. I mean, Roman cavalry are good. They're better than Equites. Attack of 7, defensive 15. How does that compare to Equites? Attack of 7, defensive 12. They're slightly better. By the way, we are able to buy some mercenaries, but they're not the right kind at Nept. We'll pass. We don't need them for taking Nept. We take Nept in 2 turns, so we're just going to let them starve out a little bit for now. Now, I think real quick, we might want to take Cordoba. Tingi, any good units we can build here? Yes. Tingi, we are going to build some archer auxilia that we can ship over to help out in Spain. That's going to be very useful. And you know what? Should we bring this boat back to Tingi so we can ferry over troops to Cordoba? I think so. So actually I'm going to cancel the plan to blockade the port at Cartagonova. That's not as important now. We're going to be able to bring over some archer auxilia soon. We'll build some archer auxilia at Palma, and we can get rid of some of these slingers maybe. They're pretty expensive to upkeep, 200 per turn. Slingers are going to be basically useless now. No need for either of these units of slingers. 1 unit of archer auxilia is going to be much better than both of those units of slingers, so that's okay. All of these cities are just tiny. I've been trying to prop them up. I've been bringing population over, but we just don't have time to grow these cities. We're going to need like 10 turns where we do nothing but build buildings and grow our population once we're done with, I don't know, maybe the wars in Spain and Gaul. Hopefully we can hold off for a while against our allies and have them not declare a civil war on us, but we'll see. Okay, let's go ahead and try and pick up Cordoba real quick. That's a nice easy battle. Vitor has 2 units of Scutarii. He's not that good. He doesn't have anything for morale. He has 0 stars of command. Should be a pretty easy battle. So we're just going to fight this real quick. Hopefully pick up Cordoba, and then we'll reevaluate. Alright, now we don't want to do too much damage to the walls if possible. So let's get our barbarian mercenaries on this ram. We'll just knock down the front gates. We'll get all of our missile-capable melee infantry drawn up near the front gates. We will just send them over to throw Pila over the walls if anyone tries to defend the walls. Go ahead and knock down the gates. We'll speed this up, and let's bring over our infantry to right here. Other 4 units of infantry can go right over here, and we'll back them up a little bit from the walls. They tend to perform better that way. Okay, is everyone firing at will? Everyone's firing at will. I don't think they're gonna have a shot on anyone. Looks like they are retreating away from the walls, so let's get my general up here. Bring my Equites up here. We might send them on a flank around the city. Walls should be down soon. Perfect. Gates are open. Let's go ahead and get our infantry inside the city. 2 units at a time. Not much of a reaction from them. They might bring one of their units of Scutarii over to try and fight us, but yeah, no, they're kind of non-committal to it. That's okay. Should we leave our mercenaries outside the city? No, we'll bring them in. Some missiles from the Spanish mercenaries and war cry from barbarian mercenaries could be useful for us. Okay, bring in the Equites, bring the general, perfect, all right. Now, draw up our infantry right here. Just very thick with a general supporting them. Send the Equites around the city. on a flank. We'll send them around this side. And then Spanish mercenaries, barbarian mercenaries, perfect, okay. Go ahead and move up a little bit. As long as we don't get any reaction from them, we're just gonna keep this on 3x speed, try and get through this pretty quickly. Once they react, we will reassess. Equites, continue marching around the city, get over here. Now, let's get 3 units of Hastati. We will slow this down now. 3 units of Hastati to right there. 3 more units to right here. General to right here. Okay. Bring up my Spanish mercenaries and barbarian mercenaries. No response from the enemy yet. Equites are continuing around the city. Go all the way around the city. Keep it moving. Perfect. No response from the enemy. This would be a great time to have Archer Auxilia, because we would just plop them right here, and they would have a shot all the way onto the city center. But that's okay. For now. We don't have them. We'll have them soon. Let's go ahead and bring up our infantry. I like them drawn up a little thicker so they all have a shot when one of them has a shot. And just super thick block of infantry here. I mean, we could flank them with our infantry, but we'll flank with the Equites and it'll be okay. Okay. Perfect. Now, check on the Equites. Almost all the way around the city. Get them over to here. Okay. Very close to being in range of the enemies here, so... Get up to right there. And they will be in range with their Pila once they get there, so let's go ahead and tell them not to fire at will. Okay, general is charging it. Everyone, attack the enemy general. Let me get my general up here for morale. Cavalry, attack from the back. Attack the Scutarii. Okay, I'm going to turn everyone to fire at will in case they get a shot. Let's go ahead and war cry with my barbarian mercenaries. We'll provide a slight morale debuff to the enemy. Morale is fine so far at the front. The troops feel fine. I'm sending in my cavalry to attack the enemy Scutarii. They are going to do a ton of damage to us here, of course. But we should be able to hold on here. Enemy general is up at the front. He's doing a lot of damage to us. Hopefully he can get himself killed. We are throwing some Pila. Can we hit him? Can we kill him? Not quite. He's down to 41, so not taking a lot of damage. We have a unit wavering. Go ahead and rally troops. Let's get these 2 weakest units out of here if possible. General, get as close as possible. Just provide whatever morale you can. Equites are charging into the Scutarii, which hopefully will make the enemy general feel like he's slightly encircled. Come on. Can we get our really weak units out of here? I don't know. They're not really moving effectively here. They might break, unfortunately, but I'm trying my best here. We're war crying. It's not really helping. Cavalry probably aren't going to do great against the enemy Scutarii, but I don't know. Yeah, this might hurt. They're throwing their missiles in. Yikes. Okay, let's check on my infantry here. How are we doing? Enemy are down to 32. Okay, cavalry are now fleeing. That's not good. They're going to flee right through my troops. Get my other Equites out the other side. I don't want them to flee into my infantry. I don't want to cause a mass rout. Okay, my infantry's feeling a little better now. Do these units get out of here? Yes, perfect. So these weakened units did get out of the line of fire. Okay, let's get my general involved in the fighting. Just get him to kill the enemy general. 53 versus 20, 18. Yeah, we should be able to fight through without losing my general here. Enemy general died. Enemy general is broken. We should be able to cut them down pretty easily. Rally troops, see if we can get these Equites to reform. Probably not. That's okay. Okay, get my general to safety. And now, let me get my strongest units of Hastati, the ones that have done the least fighting. Well, I will use them in a moment, but let's let them rest for a second. Even if the enemy throws some missiles at us, our troops are exhausted. Let them rest. Let the fleeing Equites get out of the city. Let our morale improve. And then we will fight again. We don't take risks anymore. I used to take a lot of risks, but obviously I've grown a little more cautious in my old age. cannot afford to lose random battles against pretty easy armies. This is what I'm so excited for, transitioning to post-Marian troops. Legions fight so much heavier, so much stronger, so much better morale. There's no reason like 10 units of Hastati should be getting cut through by a simple general. So once those are legions, this will be a lot easier. Okay, everyone's back to fresh. Let's go ahead and get our best units of Hastati to the front line here. There's 3 units with over 100 strength. We are going to take a lot of casualties as the enemy Scipii throw their missiles in, but that should be all of their missiles. Now, let me get my mercenaries up here. Spanish mercenaries aren't the best, but they do have missile troops. They are, like, less good Hastati, basically. So we'll use them. All of my Hastati are up here. Get my general up here. Now, everyone, just move a little bit closer. We just need to throw 1 set of missiles in. We'll just have them throw their missiles, and then hopefully the enemy will charge at us and we can throw the missiles in with the rest of our units. Go ahead and war cry with my barbarian mercenaries. Throw all your missiles in, guys. They're not really wanting to. 1 enemy break, perfect. Now we can speed it up. End of the battle. We don't need to cut down every last one. We don't want to take any more casualties. We lost 692 trying to kill Vitor. So, I mean, we did heal, looks like about 200, but still, a lot of casualties there. And Cordoba falls. Now, population here is 28,000? Are you sure? Cordoba is not usually that huge. Minor city? Could we even hold on to this? I don't know if we could hold on to this. I think we have to at least enslave Cordoba. Even then, our public order is bad. I think it's good that we enslaved them. It's sad, but that is a lot of population for other parts of the world. We got a slave trader for Quintus Victor. Not bad for the couple of turns that he hangs out in Cordoba. And bring down the tax rate. Still has a population of 9,592. So I'm okay with that. I'm glad we enslaved Cordoba. We were not going to be able to hold on to it if we didn't do that. Now let's go ahead and train some early legionary cohorts in Cordoba. Little bit more strength that we'll be able to use in fighting the rest of the Spanish. And soon we'll have some archer auxilia we can send across the water to help out with our conquest of the rest of Spain. We're no longer going to be repairing pre-Marian troops, by the way. We want them to slowly die or be disbanded and just be replaced by much better troops. Because the upkeep on these is 170, melee attack 9, defense 15. The upkeep on early legionaries is 210, melee attack 10. Defense 18, good morale, good stamina, missile attack 14. They're just better in every way. So yes, very excited for my early legionaries. We have a weaponsmith here in Cordoba. What is the religious building? Right, the Sacred Circle of Isis, which for us does nothing. We're gonna wanna knock that down at some point, but not quite yet. Okay, Cordoba is taken. That's a good start to this turn. I've gone through the Empire. I've made sure that there's nothing else we need to do as far as building new units for the Marian Reforms. We still have Cirta to free. We need to sally out against Captain Gauda. We still have a battle outside of Ancyra against Captain Thotoris. And we still have to sally out at Sardis, potentially. So lots more we need to do this turn. We also probably will need to fight this fort either now or at the end of the turn. But we don't need to do all of that right now. I think this episode is long enough. Gonna go ahead and end it there. Y'all are not ready for me post-Marian Reforms. We're gonna be expanding so fast. Gaul will fall so much faster when I can just train up a couple of units of legions and just march through Gaul. They will not be able to stand up to any post-Marian troops. Gaul, Spain, Numidia, all will fall very soon. Dacia will fall very soon. Pontus, and then my allies, the Romans. Their cities, look how easy they are to take. There's nothing there. But man, those super stacks of armies will not be easy in the slightest. Lots we need to figure out next part, and we can't even finish this turn, this part. We just have to end it here, and we'll be back next time to finish this turn, finish our transition into the Marian Reforms. I'm very excited for next week, but thank you so much for watching. Hope y'all are doing well. I've been really appreciating all the support lately. I've been very motivated to try and get my videos up once a week. I'm trying to live stream as much as I can, and I really appreciate the support. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and we're getting so close. At that point, I'll be able to monetize, and it shouldn't change anything about your experience. I think the ads are already running, but at least I will get paid for the ads that are already running, and then I will have more time to make videos, to live stream, because I won't have to work so much. So, very excited for that, but regardless, thank you so much for watching, as always. Hope y'all are doing really well, and I'll see you next week with the Marian Reforms.